everyone, welcome back. Today I am going to answer a couple of questions, well, the most asked questions of you guys. So let's go ahead. They're in no order. I'm just gonna read through the comments and see the questions I've read the most and answer them for you guys. So I did study a bachelor in modern languages, culture and communications, and I went ahead and studied a master's in trilingual international management. That means English, French and Spanish applied to international management. But that doesn't mean that you learn the languages. You actually have to be fluent in those languages already. And that only means that you learn anything related to business or negotiation or things like that, or to commerce in the field of those languages. That means I learned Latin American business, for example, or negotiation skills that I have to have when negotiating or business, or having any kind of business relationships with people from Spanish speaking countries and markets. I was already fluent in Spanish, so that only means that I learned specific business terms, for example, to be able to apply that in the field I have to work in later. And this is what I did, and why I decided, because I'm totally a linguist. I like languages. I've always liked languages, and I always knew that I wanted to study something language related. Well, initially I wanted to be an interpreter, but I changed up my mind and I did the bachelor's in communications too, communications and languages. I didn't just want to study languages. That's why I went ahead and studied a master's in international management. If you want to, you can only study languages and do great things with it, but for me, I didn't see much future in only studying languages. So that's why I decided to go ahead and combine those languages I have with a kind of like a business aspect, and that's what I did. International management. So management is anything business related. You can use the languages that you already speak and apply them. For me, in my case, I wanted to combine the skill, the language skill, with a business related skill. So that's what I did. Well, how long did it take me to learn each language? That depends on the language actually. Well, basically the first three languages I told you, I learned them at the same time. That was English, German and Chi. Those three I learned basically at the same time. And the other languages I learned, well, French I had for about 5 years in school, and then I continued it in my bachelor's degree. That was another 4 years, and then I came here to Paris to study here another 2 years. So I've had French like forever. And Spanish I've had like for about 2 years, then I went to live on in Spain. And I lived there for about 5 years, so I've been speaking Spanish for about 7 years altogether. And what else? Well, Italian I had it for just a year at uni. And Portuguese I've been speaking for about 3 years now. I kind of went about the language learning like in an example of a ladder. So once I had, for example, French, it was easier to learn Spanish, because like most of the languages I've learned are Roman languages, so they're related to each other actually. So once I had French, I kind of had a base, so then I went on to Spanish. Once I had Spanish, I was fluent in Spanish. I had another base and I went on to Portuguese. So that's why I could learn Portuguese in just like about 2 months, because it was basically the same. And Italian the same. Italian also, I learned it, I picked up very quickly, because it's also very related to Spanish. I don't say that it's the same, but it's very related, so that's why you can kind of like from there climb up like the ladder and learn it very, very quickly. And that's how I go about language learning in general, because usually if you learn languages that are within one big family, language family, it's easier to pick them up. So that's what I do. And Mandarin, I had it for 4 years at uni, and yeah. Okay, how I got the job as an au pair in Spain. That was basically very easy. I Initially wanted to go to a Latin American country. I wanted to improve my Spanish, but I wanted to go kind of like far. I didn't want to stay in Europe. But in the end, it was easier for me to go to Spain rather than going to Latin America, because after high school, after high school, most Germans, we take a gap year. So many friends of mine, they went either to Australia, to Africa, to America, all over the place, all over the world, basically. So I decided to go to Spain, basically because, one, it was much easier with the au pair program. I just signed up on apairworld.net. That was like a free website where you just sign up, you create your profile, and there are families who also have a profile. So once you click through them and you see the profiles that you might be interested, you just contact, well, usually it's the family that contacts you, and just like that you can get into contact and decide if you want to go and stay with that family or not. And this is what I did. This was really easy, but before going, I had like 6 months contact with the family. Well, they contacted me on apairworld.net, and they saw my profile and I liked their profile, so we kept in touch by emailing each other and by phone calls. And everything went well. You can also do it by agencies, that's the most common, but I didn't want to go with an agency because I wanted to choose my family. And with agencies, usually they choose a family for you. Well, they give you a choice of families, and then you have to pick up and choose from them. And I heard like many horror stories from this, so I kind of wanted to have my own choice and choose my family and interact with them prior to living with them, actually. And I had the best experience ever. I think once you get to know the family, you can make up like your mind of how they are, and that's what I did. And I was really right about the family. Everything went super well, and I'm still in contact to this day with them, and it's been almost 10 years and I'm still in very good contact with them. So if you want to, I can put the link to the website down below. I'm 28. This is one of the most asked question I get. I know I have a baby face, so usually people think I'm much younger, but as soon as I tell them like all the things I've done, the traveling I've done, I've been living abroad like for about 8 to 9 years now, and after telling them that, they always are surprised. They're like, wait a second, hold on, like, how old are you? I always get that question. So yeah, I'm 28. Well, what's my job? That's also one very frequently asked question. And my job is I'm a community manager slash country manager. So well, it's basically more so marketing. I do use the languages I speak, but not all of them, but it depends. Before, I used to do other jobs where I used more of the languages I spoke. For example, I used to work as a hostess in trade fairs, for example, and this is obviously where I used my languages the most, because you get to meet people from all over the world. You interact with business people from everywhere. Well, how do I travel that much? Am I rich? No, not yet, but basically what I want to tell you is that in order to travel, you don't have to be rich. That's a misconception, and I've always loved traveling, and always well, as a student, I was always like on a budget, obviously, so I can find any good travel deal. And if you want to, I can make a video specifically about traveling on a budget but still having like nice vacations. So the few countries I've been to is Morocco, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, France, the United States. Obviously, I think for Americans, it's a bit harder than for Europeans to travel. It's very easy to travel here in Europe. The countries are so close to each other, So basically, to go from one country to another country, sometimes it doesn't cost you more than like maybe 20 or 30 dollars. I think that's it for the first Q&A FAQ. I really appreciate all of your lovely comments, and I'm reading through all of them, but unfortunately I can't answer all of them. But I'm trying to do that with this video and answer the most questions. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to leave them down below, and I'll make sure to answer them in another video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.